We're live. Hey, everybody.
What's going on, everyone?
Nick Ponte here with Paul James. We're going to have an awesome live show for you today. We're going to be talking about crafting your slam dunk offer or using a slam dunk offer to get more sales, rather. I think that's the more important part, don't you think, Paul?
Yeah.
I almost called you Tall. Tom crossed with Paul.
That's funny. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Offers are important. Making the right offer, differentiating yourself from the crowd, definitely, it's what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, I remember there was a time for me when, I was just kind of selling run-of-the-mill type services to get attention. And that was a big problem, right? Because there are a lot of people that are just selling the typical, websites, lead gen, SEO to try to get attention. And you can, right? That's fine. But I like to get my foot in the door first, then sell the good stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep. And it makes it easier that way. You build up the trust. I mean, everyone's probably heard it 1,000 times. People buy from who they know, like, and trust. And it really is true. It's the basics, but a lot of people skip past it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And so yeah, everybody tuning in with us now, we're gonna talk more about that today. We're gonna go through our shout outs in a minute here. I'm just pulling up the post in the background here, and if anybody has any questions today, we're going to be answering them. We're not going to hold back anything, and yeah, it's gonna be a good call. So let's cue the intro.
Ready for the fastest 60 minutes of strategies and tactics to build your remote business from anywhere in the world? It's now time. The moment you've been waiting for. After 167 agonizing hours, they've returned. Now, back for a brand new Sharks live show. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
All right.
Funny if I showed up with a mask with Tom's face on it after that intro.
You drew your goatee out, put on some glasses.
I should have done that.
Yeah, Tom. I don't know where he is. He's probably at the casino somewhere.
At the Bellagio.
At the
might
Bellagio,
be at a magic
exactly.
convention today. What? Right?
That's right. He went to a magic convention, which I mean, I'm kind of sad. For those of you that don't know, which I know a lot of you do. Tom used to be a professional magician. He still is a professional magician, in my opinion. I mean, if you see him do some of the things that he does, I mean, mind-blowing. But I'm a little bummed that, he doesn't share more of that stuff with us. I think what it would take for him to do that is for everybody here to tag him and say, Tom, show us a magic trick on the next live stream. Maybe he'll bring one back with us that he's motivated to do. And yeah, I mean, he's done a few for us on the live stream before, and they're all really great. So
that'd be fun.
And didn't you used to do magic back in the day?
I did, yeah. Kind of semi-professionally too. I did a lot of birthday parties, corporate gigs, all kinds of stuff. It was fun. I liked it.
Nice. Yeah, and Cameron also does magic too.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, everybody but me, basically. Everybody cool does magic but me. So well, cool. Let's I see a lot of people here today. We got Bill Stanley. What's up, Bill? Marvin, Mr. Dorn Brenton, sorry. Kat, Patty, Barbara, Zach. What's up, Zach? It's been a little while since we've chatted. Good to see you here. Jill Ashton, one of our new remote millionaires. Nice. Doug Page is here. Awesome crew. We're going to dive right into it, everybody. Obviously, I got Paul James here. He's a close friend of ours. We work together all the time, working on our agencies, systemizing what we're doing, getting clients. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, how to get more clients and how to craft a winning offer. So we're going to talk about that. But first, we are going to go into some of our usual programming because we have a lot of killer shout outs today. So let's jump into some of this, Paul.
Let's do it. And thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good to have you here and wingmaning it with me, since Tom's just practicing magic somewhere else, Hogwarts or wherever. What's up, Norm? Awesome. So the first shout out that I want to give some props to is Mr. Bruce Mayo. This came in yesterday, and Bruce is a remote millionaire. He secured a $10,000 agreement for a website and future integration to a POS system for a gun range client, which is pretty crazy. He says they're going to need funnels, CRMs, all kinds of other things. So overall, just a really, good client, because there's other things that they need beyond the first thing that he's selling them, which is what we're going to kind of go back to later today on this stream. And then we have another shout out for Bill Stanley. He closed a project management contract for $1,200, which is amazing. Bill closes, I would say, 1 or 2 of these every single week, which is fantastic. And
cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. He on our Remote Millionaires training yesterday, it's really cool to see the progression of people, Bill, especially with his confidence in the things that he's doing and selling. So, Bill's been asking really good questions. And what I would encourage all of you to do as well is ask as many questions as you can, because if you can fill in the blanks with some of those things that, might be holding you back from getting a client or talking to a client, I mean, what a better place there's no better place to ask, right? Come here, ask us. We'll give you our feedback. We've got a lot of experience with this. And we always like to help everybody out.
Definitely.
Let's see. So JT just closed a new gig for a $259 client website. And I remember when he shared about this, he said that it was just a small win, but I mean, every win counts, right? Every win helps you to build that confidence. And you might be charging $500 fees, $250 fees in the beginning, but as you gain more experience, as you sharpen your skills, you start to feel better about charging more and asking more. For you, Paul, what was your first service that you sold? How much was it? And did you increase that pricing over time, or did you have a different offer?
Yeah, I don't quite remember exactly what I sold it for, but I did a lot of website designs at the beginning. And I remember first learning about WordPress, and I used to hate it at first. Like, I just was like not a fan of it. And then I forced myself to like start to learn it. And then people just started coming to me. Like, for instance, I used to do music too, like in a band and stuff. So one day I was in the studio recording with my producer, and he was like, "Hey, I need a new website. How about, you build me one while we're working on this?" So I don't remember what he paid me. It was probably a split between like some, bartering going on with what I was paying him, and then also paying me some in addition to that. But that was like some of my first stuff. And then he referred me to his brother, who was a wedding DJ, and then one of the record labels who because he was a producer, one of the record labels that he worked with saw that I did his website, and it just started to snowball. So yeah, I mean, it went from, not charging much for him early on to just like getting more and more. And then I started doing lead gen and SEO in the mix of it. So it was, it was a lot of different stuff going on. I don't remember exactly what I was charging, but definitely was, progressive, and got up into like the $1,000, $2,000 range after I would say like my first 5 to 6 of them.
Yeah. And I remember when we were talking the other day about how somebody that we were talking to was saying that confidence was a big issue for them.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was for me too. And that affected my pricing. Can anybody relate to that? Like, if your confidence level is kind of low for whatever you're selling, do you feel like that might affect your pricing? Let us know in the chat, and also let us know what you're currently charging for whatever it is that you've last pitched or maybe sold. I see that Bruce just came in here and said he just scored another $250 gig for some banners.
Oh,
nice, Bruce. And Bruce, we just gave you a shout out for your 10K win too, so you showed up at the right time. Awesome job though on the banner deal, by the way.
For those who said too that it does affect pricing, remind me later in the call. I'll share some strategies on, how to combat that, because I got some good tips I can share.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna hold you to that. I mean, and for me, it definitely affected my pricing, right? And I've only been really practicing sales lately. I know a lot of people have like heard me talk about how I don't really like sales and all that. But it's something that I realized that maybe I should get better at. So I've been practicing lately. And now that I've been practicing, I realized back when I lacked confidence in what I was selling, that you could hear it in my voice.
Oh, yeah.
I almost, even if it was a $500 website, I remember being so nervous about asking for $500 from somebody. And I think, or I know that nervousness or anxiety came from not really knowing how to build the website that I was about to sell, you
Yeah.
know? And so can anybody relate to that? Anybody relate to that at all? Because as you get better, as you get a few of those websites under your belt or whatever it is you're selling, you're going to feel more comfortable asking for $500 because you know what is going to go into that project, right? You become familiar with it. And then you can ask for 1,000 and you get better. And then you can ask for 2,000, you level up. It's a good progression.
It comes with time too, as you start to get more deals under your belt and you're not as afraid to lose a deal. I think that's a big thing too. A lot of us will undercut what we're worth because we're afraid of, am I going to lose this deal? And once that goes away too, where it's like, I'm okay with losing the deal. If it just doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. That helps a lot too.
Yeah, that does. Norm just said that he does a thing called price anchoring. He anchors his price at 6,200 for basic websites.
Nice.
Which for those of you that don't know, like that's basically what he starts his pricing at. So if he's speaking to somebody about selling a website, he will say, normal, and I'm just guessing, but I know Norm, so I'm assuming it's something along the lines of, yeah, we typically sell this type of website for about 6,200. And that way they get to think about it, right?
Yeah.
And then that might be the sticker shock price. They might say like, wow, that's a lot. But then he might say, well, today we're running a Valentine's Day special and it's now going to be sold for 4,000. Is that something you might be interested in? And that way, psychologically, there's a reduction and people feel like they're getting a good deal.
I love that. You can do anchoring with a lot of things too, not just pricing, but if you're like talking to a prospect and you're teaching them something, you can anchor back to that stuff that you were teaching them when it comes to talking about the offer, because you can remind them, earlier we talked about this and this and this, and that'll remind them too of all the value you brought them leading up to the actual, close. Okay, it's time to make a deal. So I like that. Anchoring is great.
Yeah, it really is. A lot of good question or feedback coming in about the pricing is affected with the confidence thing for sure. Bruce also said that he felt uncomfortable to ask for more than $1,000 for a website. And then he thought, hey, my time is worth more than the value is worth a lot more. There's no time. So the first $10,000 win reinforced that it can be done. And that's exactly what we're talking about. Like, getting those wins really does help to boost your confidence. Bill says that he went through that yesterday and then he pulled out my pricing sheet and used that, and the customer did not blink. So this is a really good, thing that happened for Bill here, because what he's doing is he's trusting in me and my pricing, right? He's trusting in the fact that I've been doing this for a long time and I've got it set up in a way that makes sense for other people. And instead of picking a number out of thin air, he's using the number that I use, and he has confidence in that. So that's a way to hack your authority, right? Is if you work with somebody that knows what they're doing and they can share with you what your next step should be. That's a really great way to, break through some of those maybe anxiety levels or lack of confidence levels.
I think a lot of it's just getting used to it too, because I think you and I we'll still experience this when we're breaking into the next pricing barrier that we haven't experienced yet, and then we'll get the deal and we'll be like, wow, like, people are actually like taking me up on this. Like I should be charging more all the time.
Yeah. It's so true. And it also I think can be applied to learning a new skill too, right? Like when you're not good at something, you don't have that experience, you always feel like it's a lot more uncomfortable to learn. Your first sales call you will ever have will always be the most difficult. And it's because you just don't have that experience. It's, I think it's better to just get out there and try and fail and just get that out of the way real quick. Don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of sales too is a lot of listening. And I think, I think once you get on a sales call and you realize it's a lot of listening, it's not that bad. You're really kind of, I like to look at it kind of like a doctor, like you're kind of diagnosing what they've got going on and then figuring out where you can inject yourself into the equation to help them fix it.
Yeah. Yep. That's a great point. I'm going to jump back into some more of these shout outs real quick. So Cody Weaver down here in the bottom left, everybody. Let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit to make it a little bit bigger. So Cody reported a couple of new wins, a $1,700 website, $70 a day PPC campaign, which is and $375 a month for basic SEO for a mobile RV repair. That's a solid win. Also $275 a month social media content for a local staffing company, plus $150 for a logo design from a landscaper. And then this is the third win. 3 wins this week, Cody. So, I mean, crushing it.
Yeah.
$355 a month for Google My Business management, $125 per PPC, and $150 for Facebook. So that's a 6-month contract for a flooring company, and it's a blended campaign. So he's doing a little bit of everything, right? Running some ads and doing some SEO. So congrats, Cody.
Yeah, good work. That's awesome.
It's a huge win. We have Olivier. So 600 euros, $650 for a site revamp for a current SEO client. Another agency quoted 600 euros, except he threw in a free YouTube banner to close the deal.
That's a good one.
Nice. And so that's a way to, I mean, that let's pause for a second. Let's talk about that. So that's a way to create a special type of offer, right? Which is exactly the topic for this stream. Finding ways to incentivize people to, take you up on your offer, especially maybe if there's competition, right? You have somebody else coming in at the same price point or very close to yours. Well, how do you push somebody over the ledge to taking your special offer, right?
Yeah.
It has to be special.
I like it. That's awesome.
So next one is for JT. JT has not JT. Primetime Promotions Winnipeg sold a $800 website. Nice job. And then Jacqueline Heath reported 3 new wins. First and second client hired for her social media management, 180 pounds per month for 3 months, and 180 pounds per month for branding and logo for a website. Third client needs content writing, an additional 210 pounds. Wow. Multiple wins for Jacqueline Heath.
Awesome. Good work.
We have I don't know, half of the people on the shout out list has multiple wins, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Way to stack the value, everybody. And so our final shout out goes to Jill Ashton. Sold a new website, 750 pounds, plus a second website in a few months. They also want to work on SEO as well. So awesome work, Jill, and everybody. Yeah. I mean, overall.
I saw Dorn posted too that he landed a 4K PPC deal as well in the chat.
Really?
Yeah. He said I think he said he raised the pricing because of what you showed in Remote Millionaires.
Wow.
Because he was charging 1K, I think I read.
Where is that? Let me see that. That's pretty freaking awesome. Oh, Dorn. There you are.
Yeah.
Dorn.
From yesterday's call.
I'll take 10%, Dorn. That's awesome. So for those of you that don't know, we have a post in our Facebook group right now with all these shout outs. And if you go there and you leave a comment, congratulate all these shout out people, we will give a person that comments at random some Cash App money by the end of the stream. So you'll want to go there right now. It's in the Facebook group, and we will pick you at the end of the stream. So let's see. The other thing that I wanted to share too is the metric that we've been keeping track of. So for this week, April 9th to the 15th, there's a combined total revenue of $24,259 in this Facebook group.
That's awesome. That's incredible. That. Yeah.
And a grand total of $285,000 since the start of 2022. We're going to hit 1 million.
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
Yeah, easily. That's great.
Freaking amazing. Good job, everybody. Keep up the good work. I've been seeing a lot of just the community spirit. Everybody, coming together to help each other out a lot lately. This morning, I was in the Facebook group answering some questions I got from some people, and I was just noticing, how powerful this community really is for a lot of people that are just getting started or have questions along the way. I mean, if you leverage this group and you ask questions, it's just such a huge leg up. I didn't have anything like this when I was getting started. Paul didn't have anything like this when he was getting started.
Definitely not.
And I mean, it's so helpful. So
yeah.
Great job, everybody, and keep up the good work. So let's circle around to what we wanted to talk about today, because, Paul, you've been able to craft a lot of winning offers for local clients to get their attention and bring them in. And I know we're promoting one of your strategies to do that. And so I wanted to, obviously bring you here today to talk a little bit about that and answer some questions that other people might have. So has anybody picked it up, by the way? I don't think I have a link.
I saw I saw Marvin picked it up in your group right now. And let's see. He said that he's got 3 scheduled appointments for next week. He targeted landscapers, contacted 18 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so I saw that this morning too. So how did this whole thing come about? How did this strategy come about? I mean, that's what I always love to know. Like, usually it's like by finding something that is a mundane process and just having the need for trying to figure out a better way. But like, this one in particular, what was it?
I think a lot of what I do revolves around thinking like I am my client. And even way back from when I was working for the heating and cooling company, for those of you who don't know my backstory, I worked for a heating and cooling company, and I did a lot of stuff for them. Started off cutting the grass, worked as an installer, installing furnaces, air conditioners, eventually worked my way up into the office. And as I sat in the office, I would field a lot of phone calls, and a lot of the phone calls we would get, we would get hit with the traditional, do you want to do SEO, that type of stuff. And I can tell you how every one of those ended was with me hanging up the phone. So I've kind of been on the other side of the fence to see, what people respond to, what they don't. And one day got a call from Service Magic. So I'm not sure those of you who are familiar with Service Magic, but they are now, they were bought out by Home Advisor, now bought out by Angie's List, who rebranded to Angie. So that was when I realized, like, wow, there's a better way to market, because the way that they marketed, instead of going and saying, I'm going to sell you this, or I'm going to sell you that, was we're going to get you more customers and you're going to pay us for that. So the quick client system is kind of just putting myself back in the shoes, right, of working there, or any of the clients that we work with, and what do they really want? Well, what they really want is they want a way to get more clients. So it's a foot in the door strategy to help them get more customers from the traffic they already have, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. There's even at my office, right? I'm at home right now, but I have an office down the street where the agency technically lives.
Mm-hmm.
But even us being a digital marketing agency, we get hit up all the time for these very vanilla types of offers, right? People hitting us up with, just wanting to know if we want backlinks, or wanting to know if we want, some social posting or something like that. But I mean, whenever I see those, they immediately go to spam, right? They immediately go in the trash pile. They go in the, I have a filter that I just tag everybody with that puts any future response from those people in that same category, basically spam.
Yeah. And I imagine you probably have an SOP for like your people in the office too, to ignore them when they get calls like that, right?
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's the people that you're contacting probably are told to not respond to that type of outreach as well. Like the gatekeeper is trained in that way. And I actually have a funny story, and I was talking about this on the RM training yesterday, where I had somebody reach out to our office the other day and fill out one of our forms, and they were a bigger company. They were a vacation rental company, and they were like not a franchise, but they were under Berkshire Hathaway, right? So they have this big brand name, Warren Buffett's company, and I think they were kind of entitled because they were, working for that brand. But so they came in through the contact form on our website, and they were like, our team reached out to like schedule a call, and they were like, well, I want to just speak with Nick. I don't want to talk to anybody else. I want to just speak with Nick. And they were super rude about it, and for our team, we do have an SOP, right? Like you don't just speak with, the main person, like right off the bat. Like you can talk to us. We all field the leads. But they were very unhappy about it. In fact, they were very rude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad, but they didn't like it. But needless to say, the point I'm trying to make is that, you have to do something to stand out, right? You have to do something to stand out and make yourself unique when you're doing your prospecting. Whether you're sending out emails or making phone calls or sending direct messages, the main thing that you can do is stand out like a normal person. Like don't have a copy and paste type method that, clearly is a copy and paste type method. One big piece of advice that I can give anybody is anytime you're doing any of your outreach, you should make it look like it's coming from a friend. That's how you can stand out in somebody's email inbox. If the subject line looks like it's coming from somebody they know, then you will get their attention for that split second. Then you can, try to get your way in.
I actually do the same thing with the email address as well. Rather than like sending it from our company agency email, we'll use like a personalized Gmail account just to make it look like could be from a friend. That's a good point.
So you like, rather than using a @digitalagency.com, it's just like, it's like Paul1234 @gmail.com.
Yeah, exactly.
That's interesting. Cool. Well, yeah. So you guys have any questions, any topics of discussion on getting your foot in the door, creating an offer, or maybe even just sharing, what you're currently offering? Are you just selling, or trying to get your foot in the door with a basic strategy? How can you modify things or add some sizzle to make your offer a little bit better? We're here to talk about that stuff today. So
I saw Dorn had a good one. Dorn said, one of the ways you can get in is instead of just saying we can get you on the first page of Google, calling out, hey, there's a problem with your Google listing is going to get their attention more. And that's a lot of like what I talk about in Quick Client System is pointing out problems with their website rather than their Google listing, just because that way you're not having to offer SEO, although Quick Client System is great if you want to get your foot in the door and you can go and offer other things. This way you're pointing out what's wrong with their website so you can fix it.
Gotcha. I'm trying to get this thing to scroll across the bottom because I saw that Bruce was just asking for the link to Quick Client System. Nice. There we go. So yeah, Bruce, I do have a link. I just put it at the bottom of the screen. We actually created a bonus package for those of you that are interested in what we're talking about here today. Not only is Paul's program completely standalone, there are a lot of people that are on this stream that have already seen it and love it, but we decided to sweeten the deal and make it a no-brainer for you all, add our own bonus package to the equation, and I'll go into that later. But for those of you that are interested in having a look now, I put the link in the bottom of the screen. Jacqueline said she loved the bonus. Appreciate that, Jacqueline.
Awesome. Yeah, it was a great bonus.
And somebody else said they already got it. Appreciate it, Paul, for the great info.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, there are a lot of people that have joined already, Paul.
Oh, yeah. We got a lot of people in.
Hundreds of sharks have already joined.
It's crazy. I'm glad. It's awesome. Excited to work with everyone. And I'm glad we're already seeing results coming in too, which is, even more phenomenal because, that's quick.
Yeah. So Chandra is asking, can you tell us what we are getting or learning about in your training or offering on a special price? Is it only for newbies or somebody already having or running an agency?
Yeah, for sure. It's for anyone. You can be just starting off. I give you everything you need to know if you're just starting off. But that being said, if you have an agency and you'd like to get more clients, or you'd like to maybe just want to offer a service that you can just get a quick win with to just make some cash, or you want to use it as a foot in the door, it's great for that as well. And really what we're doing is we're going after people who we believe we can get more conversions out of their website by optimizing what their website looks like above the fold. They're missing critical items above the fold on their website, and we help them fix that. And again, we're using that because many of those clients aren't going to stop there at $500 with fixing that. They're going to end up turning into either full-blown website redesign clients, or they're going to end up with, an awesome website that's converting, but they need more traffic. And then we can set them up on something else to get them more traffic. So yeah. New, old, it doesn't matter. As long as you want more clients or need a good foot in the door, it's going to work. It's good for you then.
Yeah. And just so everybody knows, if you look at any of the Offline Sharks products, and even the ones that we've teamed up with Paul on, we generally these are not very expensive trainings, right? And we pack them with value. I mean, we give you everything that you need. Like, one of the things that is important to us is that, whenever we have these types of trainings or courses that we sell, they're usually a way to get a client. For the most part, they're generally a way to get a client, to get your foot in the door, or to use a service that we're selling to them to make some recurring income, right? But we give you everything that you need, and Paul gives you everything that you need in that training and in that course. But it's important to note that the whole idea here, like Paul said, is to get your foot in the door, right? This is not the end all be all. You're not getting your foot in the door, selling a service for $300 or $500 and then just stopping there, right? This is just so we can get our attention or get their attention. And, one of the things that I think about from time to time in our agency is, like, offers can get stale. Your foot in the door strategies can get stale. Like, let's say you have an AGM site, right? And you have a list of 500 people that have listings on your site. Or let's say you have a existing customer base that you send emails to regularly, right? After you show them your special offer a few times, it can become stale. You're going to need a new one next week or next month.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So it's good to, build your toolkit, right? These types of foot in the door strategies are good to have in your toolkit because, next year you might be able to roll something out that you did last year to the new people in your audience, and it'll be brand new again, And so if you're sitting on some potential leads, or you have some tools that help you with leads, or you're looking to just get some attention from some of those people, you might want to switch up your foot in the door strategy. And this one is a great one. Marvin says that it's one of the easiest that he's learned in the last 3 years, which is some good
That's
feedback.
Awesome. Yeah. I see Jim asked a great question about, can he outsource? And as far as, like, he says, can he outsource Dialhawk integration? And that's actually one of the upsells that we will do is we'll do what's called a quick call form. So if someone comes and fills out a contact form on their website, it'll automatically like ring the phone of your client and say, hey, someone filled out your form, press 1. So yeah, you definitely can outsource that. It's really just like a script that you put in the header of the website. So anyone that, is familiar with adding in, like a Google Analytics code or something like that, you could probably find someone on Fiverr to pop that in for you. But that's not required for Quick Client System. It's just one of those things that it makes logical sense to do as an upsell. Like, you could do like a website redesign. You could do, SEO. You could do a quick call form with Dialhawk. It just is a nice to have options for upsells. So, but yeah, I like that one. It's a good one.
Yeah, that is. Jim, the thing about outsourcing and building a team is everything can be outsourced, right?
Yeah.
Everything. If you can do something, you can find somebody else to do that same thing. So it really comes down to being able to know how to hire and bring in talent to help you do those things. So if there's other busy work, Jim, because I feel like I'm getting that from you, you have other stuff because you're not tech savvy that you need help with, you might want to consider just hiring somebody or starting a relationship with somebody that is more tech savvy that you can go to on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And, you should just look into outsourcing a little bit more.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. And I mean, again, it goes back to that confidence thing, right, Paul? If you have somebody else who is tech savvy, what's that going to do for Jim's confidence?
Yeah, 100%. I agree. know that you can fall back on them when you need to, or
Yeah,
just
I
have
mean,
them do everything.
for me, that has been a total game changer, right? Like I know what my skill sets are and I know what my weaknesses are, and if I can use other people's skill sets to fix my weaknesses or supplement my weaknesses, then we're going to have a well-rounded offer that we can give to people.
Yeah.
So as a digital marketer, sometimes we call ourselves full stack digital marketers, meaning we can do everything. We can run ads, we can build landing pages, we can do sales, we can, write copy, we can create graphics. When I say we can do all those things, I don't mean me. I mean, we have people help us.
I like that term, full stack digital marketing. That's a good one.
Yeah, full stack digital marketers. We are.
Yeah. I like that. That's good.
Let's see. So somebody says, how would you approach old clients with this program?
I guess it depends what kind of clients they are. So if it's a client that you haven't built a website for, I would say those clients would be a great fit because you can go through and kind of objectively nitpick what they could do better on the website and pitch it to them and give them an offer they can't refuse. If it is a client that you designed a website for, they might not be a great fit because you'd kind of be nitpicking yourself then. But you could, I'm sure Nick could probably chime in. There's probably ways to nitpick your own work in a way where like, hey, we have this cool thing we're doing for clients now. Maybe we could try it for you. You've done some stuff like that before, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, that's a big piece of it. Like a lot of the stuff that we teach you in Offline Sharks Remote Millionaires is all about building a community, right? Like with your AGM website or our list building tools, we're building a community of people. Like if you look at our Hawaii Thrive AGM site, we have a big email list of people that we've given listings away on that site, right? And I would call those people old clients or leads, same thing, right? And the whole point of Paul's course with the quick client system is to go approach old clients, new clients, potential clients, and bring them in as a customer. I mean, so I would make the comment that kind of is the premise of the program. So when you join, there's a lot of information there on how to actually use it to get a client, and you can use that whether they're a new client or an old client. But
yeah,
it's that you made a good point too, Paul, that we do that a lot, and we do that a lot, because we have that community that we're always building up, on the sidelines. Whenever we do have a new foot in the door strategy or something like this comes along, the first place we go are existing customers or old customers, because they're the easiest wins.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of when you were doing the grant stuff. You went back to like all of your old customers, right? And said, hey, there's this new thing going on. We should get you set up on it, right?
Yeah. So there was even a recent grant that came out for people here in Hawaii that I think it was like a surplus of CARES Act money, because there was a lot of money that went around. and the government here in Hawaii didn't use it all at the time, or they didn't distribute it all. So there was a surplus. So they recently, like last week, said, hey, any business here that can show a 10 or 20% decrease in sales from 2021 to 2022, let us know and we'll give you $5,000 to help your business. And so for us, we were like, we told everybody in our AGM sites, right? Like, hey, there's a possibility you can get $5,000 here. You can go get that money, give it to us. We'll run some ads for you. You'll get even more money.
Yeah.
So that's, again,
no-brainer.
That's a different example of crafting a slam dunk offer, right? That's not the thing that hits hard about that is they can get access to money from somewhere else and then use that money to make more money.
Right.
Does everybody see that?
Definitely.
Let's see. Bruce just picked it up. Thanks, Bruce. Awesome stuff. He's gonna
appreciate it.
He's adding some spare ammo for his gun range for his gun range client. Funny. Let's see. Can you share your thoughts on podcasts and auto webinars and generating leads? I'm gonna let you start that one.
I've done a lot of auto webinars. I mean, tons and tons of auto webinars. So yeah,
I would call Paul an expert in auto webinars and generating.
Yeah, I've done a lot of them. I mean, yeah, absolutely. It's a great way to generate leads. And especially if you're doing it outside of a niche that isn't familiar with them, because I think that could be the biggest downfall of them, is if people know they're an auto webinar, but oftentimes you start to go off into different niches. They don't realize, they have no idea. They think it's live, which I'm not saying you should deceive people and tell them it's live, but just the fact if they know it's not live, that's kind of the one downfall of it. So yeah, I think it's a great tool. Podcasts are great too. Really, all of these are tools to just build authority at the end of the day. And when you put content out on a platform, you're essentially kind of like an author, and people view you as a thought leader just by doing so. Even if you don't have a big following, I mean, it's just, people look at you that way. So it's good for that. And if you start to really target keywords with your podcast and you're doing stuff like that, where you're actually talking about topics that are pain points and are things that people are researching and looking up, then you're going to attract leads. And I think they work really good in conjunction. Podcasts to kind of get the audience, and then auto webinar to help convert them, or to at least book the appointment, get them on a call. That's how I would do it.
Yeah. Chandra, I know the auto webinar and podcast that, like, I know people in the local space that are using podcasts to do exactly as Paul said, position themselves as an expert, outreach, and say, hey, can I get you on my podcast? I'm spotlighting local businesses. I mean, business owners, they love that.
Yeah.
The auto webinar thing is amazing for leads and doing sales. I'm not sure how good it is for actually like local. Maybe if you have like an online business or an online offer, in the sense of, maybe you're selling, like kind of like what Offline Sharks is, right? Like we have digital courses, auto webinars and stuff are kind of good for that, because all of you are familiar with webinars, but a lot of roofers and plumbers and those guys, they're not too familiar with webinars, right? So they don't have that experience. They're not like out there looking for webinars to go learn about training, so
I showed you my my ad funnel, remember, for roofers? That one was an auto webinar funnel, actually, and it actually did really well.
Was it an auto webinar, or was it more like a video sales letter though?
Well, it was a video sales letter, I would say, but it was still positioned like an auto webinar where they had to register for it. So
really?
I think, so it would work in the same format. So they will work, but you have to be really good at webinars, is the caveat. You really have to understand, the getting into the meat of the system with the 3 hooks and getting into the offer and stuff like that. So I would say really study up on webinars before you go that route, or you'll probably waste a lot of money trying to convert.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's see. Quick call works great from realtor and mortgage brokers.
Yeah. Anything where they need to be the first to respond, it just works amazing with.
Jacqueline says that she has to get to the bottom of Dialhawk for UK because no one does that over there. Sounds like a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Dorn says laundry, house cleaning, cooking, shopping, everything is outsourceable. It's true. I talk about this all the time. Once you start outsourcing, I mean, it's a superpower, right? You're going to start to, Paul, like you just start going like, what else can I outsource?
Yeah. Sometimes it can be challenging on, finding the exact people for those odd tasks, like, outsourcing stuff around the house mainly. That can be a little challenging, but yeah, I mean, we outsource, like in Florida, our pool cleaning. When we're not here, we're going to have someone taking care of the house, making sure things are good when guests leave and stuff. So yeah, I mean, everything is outsourceable.
Yeah. Bruce says outsourcing has allowed him to do more prospecting, lets him do things that I can't normally do, either from time constraints or knowledge gaps. And that's so true. There's a lot of busy work that and this is the progression, right? You're working in your agency, you're offering services, you're finding clients. Every single day you're making progress, right? And just by making progress, you find yourself becoming more busy in the various areas of your business that you're trying to grow it, right? It could be now that you've identified a new pool of customers, like Jacqueline, right? She wants to get into more call tracking and lead gen. Well, now she's going to be a lot more busy pursuing that, right? And as she makes progress and starts to get it systemized and knows that if she contacts this many businesses each day, they turn into this many clients. And as you go through that, right, you start to spend more time in those various areas, but you are able to teach somebody else how to do that. And when you do, and you can do that, you're able to get back that time that you used to spend doing that. And then now you can spend that time doing something more high valued, right? Or less busy. And it's just a cycle. It happens. It goes like, it's like a stair, right? Like you're grinding, you're outsourcing, and you're doing the busy work, and then you find somebody to help you, and then you level up, and then you do it again for a while, and you're grinding, and you get busy doing all the other things, not the same thing you were doing before, but something new if you do it right. And then you find somebody to help you do that, and you level up again. So it is a progression.
I'm laughing because the chat is talking about how to outsource, finding people on Upwork for doing cleaning and stuff like that.
What? On Upwork?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I don't know, Nick, that might be a new thing for remote millionaires. You need to start talking about how we can outsource, personal chef, grass cutting. Cause I mean, I think that's
laundry.
What yeah. No, I get it though. That is the busy work that you don't want to do. You want to be, I see it all the time. I mean, I don't know, for those of you who don't know, I just bought a house here in Florida, and we've been doing like crazy remodeling, and I just see like, if I had to fix tiles the other day, and it's like, man, I'm sitting here for 3 hours fixing these tiles. And if only I would have hired someone to do it, like I could have made more money just if I was able to work instead of fixing these tiles. Right. So yeah, I get it. That stuff's really important. And it's, sometimes looking at some of the obvious things we can outsource like that are good.
Yeah. I mean, outsourcing in general, like I know we call it outsourcing when we're doing digital stuff, and it's the process of having somebody overseas help us with something, here or wherever we are. But business in general is pretty much outsourcing, right? Like your time is more valuable to you than going out right now and washing the windows around your house. Somebody else has a system that does it a lot faster than you, and they're willing to come in and do that in exchange for some value, for some money, right? So I just hired a window cleaner. I use that example because I'm doing other things. My time is much more valuable to me than doing that, so I'm outsourcing the window cleaning. But it's interesting that we have a different term for it when we're talking about digital, but essentially everything that you hire somebody else to do for you, working on your car, detailing your car, whatever, is outsourcing.
Yeah.
It really is.
Bill says, can you outsource to find outsourcers?
Yeah.
You kind of do that, don't you?
Yeah, So
I don't do it, but I think you do it. Yeah.
So the next level is having a project or a hiring manager, right? So when you start to like in Offline Sharks right now, or in Remote Millionaires, I posted a post in the group today about looking for somebody to help us in Offline Sharks with some things that we're doing. Somebody on my team wrote that post, they gave it to me, and I published it. Our hiring manager will help us post jobs on Upwork when we need somebody, and they will do an interviewing, and they will do a selection process and shortlist the top 3 candidates and say, these are the top 3 people I spoke with. Here are their resumes. Which one do you want to speak with?
Love it.
And that process is massive, everybody. Like, I hope everybody gets to that point someday, because as you grow, as you scale, it usually is a matter of, if you have a bottleneck in your business, like you can't get more customers or you need to run ads, it's usually you need to hire somebody that has a skill set that you don't have, or you need to learn that skill set yourself. Like, those are the 2 main things that you could be missing that are holding your business back. And if you're not good at hiring, or you don't have a system to hire people, then you're just going to keep hitting that wall until you learn that skill. But imagine being able to be like, hey, hiring manager, I need somebody to help me with this. And you don't even have to spend your time to go do all the initial stuff. And you're actually solving that problem. You're already solving that problem by engaging a hiring manager to go out and
that's a great point.
Find somebody for you.
Yeah. Really good.
We started going down the rabbit hole and outsourcing hard.
I know. It's good though. I mean, it's definitely important. And I think everyone's definitely really interested in that topic. So
Yeah. And I mean, when you get a bunch of clients using the quick client system, you're going to need to outsource. So, it's like the next step, right?
For sure.
Jim says he needs a VA for WordPress. I highly recommend you get a VA for WordPress.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see. Norm says, I'm going to outsource sleeping and toothbrushing. I wish I could outsource sleeping. That would be nice. Man. Well, that was some really good questions we got there. Some really good feedback from everybody. We are at 5 till. So I want to do one final thing or two final things before we get out of here. First, I want to give a shout out to our member of the week. So for those of you that don't know and are new here, every week on this stream, we identify somebody in our Facebook group that is just being a good member of the community, helping out, sharing their wins, or even their struggles and how to not do it yourself, just being a good member of the community. And we send them a special Offline Sharks treasure chest full of all kinds of goodies. So this week, our member of the week, let me make sure I got the screen pulled up right, is Leah Bear, who has been crushing it in the Shark Alliance program, always actively participating, asking questions, and offering feedback to others. She's about to relocate at the end of the month, and we wish her all the best. So if you all could give Leah a shout out in the comments and give her a thanks for helping out in the Facebook group this week, we'd really appreciate it. And Leah will be reaching out and sending you a special treasure chest, a gift of gifts.
Congrats, Leah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We had, something that happened with our treasure chest that we've been giving people, Paul, is that, and this happened all on its own. Like, people have created some sort of like mystery behind it. Like, they don't tell anybody what's in the box.
Really?
And they're doing like unboxing videos, but they're like blurring out everything that comes out of it, and they're keeping it a mystery. So
that's awesome.
It's pretty cool to see, everybody in our community just kind of taking what we're doing and doing their own thing with it. It just makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that.
It's a really good culture that we have going on here.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So final thing before we get out of here is we're going to give away some.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Cheating, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
All right, everybody. So I'm going to give away 2 Cash App awards. The first one's going to go to the person who answers this question correctly first. We do this on all of our live streams. So if you don't win this one, you'll want to show up next week, same time, same place. Every Friday, we go live for our Aloha Friday Marketing Jam session. So the question is, we talk about this in our community a lot. It's an acronym that we use quite a bit. No, it's not Kevin. No, it's not dollar signs. So we talk about this quite a bit, and a lot of you will get this very quickly. So what is the meaning of the acronym RPA that we use here in Offline Sharks all the time? RPA. What does it mean? There's always a little lag. Every time I ask a question and then we're on StreamYard, there's like a lag, and I'm like, I'm not used to, like, on YouTube or other streams or on webinars, you get that instant.
Right. It took me a minute. It took me a minute to think about what it was. Oh, Norm's got it.
Norm got it. That's right. Revenue producing activities. And I'm gonna give the quick example of this. And so revenue producing activities are the things that actually drive the money needle in your business. This means sending emails, making phone calls, sending direct messages, outreaching to people, meeting people for sales calls or Zoom calls, or walking into businesses, talking to business owners, talking to potential customers. If you're doing any of those things, then you're trying to make more money in your business, right? There's a lot of busy work that we can get caught up in sitting in front of our computer, right? We can get on Facebook and social media and just get stuck in a feed and feel like we're busy, but we're not actually growing our business. So we like to focus on revenue producing activities every single day. And if we make time for that, and it's not always easy, if we make time for it and we stick to it, we usually get clients. So if there's one thing that we leave you with today, outside of the quick client system, which if you follow that system, you're basically going to be doing a revenue producing activity. It's that you should be doing that regularly, making time for it. And that way you are going to grow your business. So
Definitely.
Norm, throw your Cash App tag into the comments and we'll send you some Cash App money. And then I do want to do one final giveaway to those who commented on the post at the beginning of the stream. So the two winners of our giveaway there are Patty Rakowski and Chandra Rao. So Patty and Chandra, please put your cash tag in the comments, and congratulations to you as well.
Congrats. It's awesome.
All right. Well, that puts us exactly at top of the hour. I crushed that on the timing. Paul, it's been a lot of fun having you here, man.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And for those of you that haven't already, I know a lot of you have, head over to offlinesharks.com/quick client system. We have a bonus package. I'm going to do that actually real quick and share that with you before we get out of here. This is our bonus package. Quick client system.com. If you go to this link right now, you will be able to pick up not only Paul's entire course, which will help you to get some new customers, but we're also giving you this bonus package is full of, our own assets that we use to get clients. I'm not going to go through all of it now because we're at the top of the hour, but you can go to this page, and once you purchase it, you will get an email with access to your bonus. I believe that's how it's delivered. It should be automatic. So with that, everybody, go there right now, offlinesharks.com/quick client system. And thanks again, Paul. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Yep. Catch you guys later. Thanks so much.
Bye, everybody.
You've been listening to the Sharks Live Show, your weekly marketing jam session. Always bringing you the latest strategies and tactics to build your remote business from anywhere in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube and Tom's podcast at tomgaddis.com. We'll be back here next Friday for another Sharks Live Show. Until then, aloha.